Day after day, the only constant in this pandemic is uncertainty, but everyone's searching for hopeful signs.
The wastewater surveillance does seem to indicate that we have reached the peak, that we will start seeing the numbers go down.
That's the good news. Here's the but.
Wastewater gives us, a little bit of optimism, but we're not quite sure yet whether that's true or not.
Wastewater data led scientists in the nation's capital to think infections had peaked last week.
I perhaps put my foot in my mouth and I called a peak in Ottawa, and it was a false peak, unfortunately.
But new projections from Ontario's science table do indicate, while it's temporary, population immunity is high. Between 4.5 and 6 million Ontarians have been infected since December. Plus, over 86% of those who are eligible have also had 2 doses of a vaccine.
This together means that the pool of people who are susceptible for infections is decreasing ever so much.
But, he adds, immunity wanes and COVID hospitalizations will continue rising for weeks. And while Ontario's Premier says there are plenty of beds, the number of infected healthcare workers now matches the peak of the last wave.
This means that we are kind of right in the middle of the 6th wave.
And with Easter, Passover, and Ramadan gatherings this weekend, cases will rise. But many are hoping they won't get as high as the previous wave.
Certainly room for optimism, but that's also not a reason to say that, hey, it's all over for everybody now.
And doctors say the low uptake in booster doses isn't helping. They're urging Canadians to get a shot if you can. But their advice for this long weekend is simple. Try and avoid crowded spaces and wear a mask wherever you can. One thing they are certain of is that eventually this pandemic will end. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.